Denver, Colorado, represent. But yeah, we've had medical weed for a while now. Not as long as California, but I feel like it's way more prevalent. We have more dispensaries than Starbucks. They're everywhere, and they're not as hidden as California. They're like brightly lit. They're named really like marijuana friendly, and before it was decriminalized, then it was lowest priority, so you could only get a ticket for the possession of weed, and now it's legal. Yeah, we have traveled with weed in the past and got arrested in Texas.
Oh.
So we are not traveling with weed. However, I mean, like, people have been giving it to us here and there, and, you know, we'll end up traveling with the, like, tiny amounts that we have. But, we haven't smoked too much. I mean, we're getting high because we're not smoking as often as we're used to, but still haven't seen the weed like at home, you know. And people have been rolling us blunts, and they're like tiny. I roll bigger joints than they're rolling blunts, you know, at home. My joke is like, if they don't soak super tampon, I don't smoke them, you know. But it's pretty bad. But usually I'm really good about putting on our website whether venues are accessible or not. At home, nobody disabled ever comes to see me, ever. But I know every venue just because I know the accessibility issues, and I take note of it because I have to be carried up or downstairs. Luckily, I'm small, so that was like kind of a cool thing for me to like include whether it's accessible or not. But it's always seemed kind of unnecessary. It's just something that I do. And then this trip, I dropped the ball and didn't list the accessibility. And like 3 people hit me up on Facebook and were like, your San Francisco show is inaccessible. What the fuck is wrong with you playing that? And like kind of creating a little havoc. And I'm like, whoa, like, well, let me see what I can do, you know. I don't want to, like, exclude anybody from our show, but we're not in a position to turn down a show, you know, and I'm small enough that it's not as big of an issue for me. So, there were 3 people that hit me up on Facebook. We did a impromptu show on the sidewalk. One wheelchair came. Leroy showed up after we had already played, and somebody that read your blog had come that wasn't disabled. But it was fun, and I really like to busk. We played South by Southwest a couple times, and the busking thing has been, like, huge. Like, we made so much money busking, had a bigger crowd.
No overheads, the club doesn't get any of it.
No, exactly. And bigger crowd, we were selling merch, you know, we were getting good contacts, everything. We made like $360 in less than an hour. I'm not doing this to be a crippled artist, you know, I'm doing this to be a good rapper. I've always had kind of weird feelings about the whole disability issue, just because I think you can get really boxed in to disability. However, just because it doesn't mean a lot to me, doesn't mean that it doesn't mean a lot to a lot of other people. And there's nothing I can do to take away from that. You know, like, that's so important to so many people, and so, like, I totally respect it. I totally credit Leroy. He's always keeping me on my toes about being politically correct, you know. We're not handicapped, we're disabled. Crip is with a K, not a C, even though I have it on my stomach with the C. He hit me up on MySpace, like, literally right after I posted music. Like, right away he found me.
Right after you began?
Yeah, and that wasn't even Wheelchair Sports Camp. It was just, like, me posting, like, school projects. because I was going to college at the time for music. So, I mean, he found me right away. He was like, oh my god, this is awesome, I gotta get you involved, or you want to be in crip hop? And I was like, whoa, what is that? You know? Until then, I mean, not that I thought I was the first crippled rapper, but I didn't realize how many others worldwide were doing the same type of thing, so that's really inspiring to me too. And since this tour, like, a lot more disabled people have been coming to see me that I've never met, which is awesome to me. In Atlanta, like, 4 disabled people came and saw me. In San Diego, 2 people with my disability. I met a couple people across the road with my disability that I wouldn't have if I wasn't on tour, so that's really cool. I mean, hopefully, you know, just traveling more and maybe making a little money doing it. That would be nice, and playing bigger shows, and, you know, more importantly, putting out more music and better music, you know.
And if you were to pick any particular producer or other MCs or singers to work with, or do you have a dream list?
Yeah, it's pretty long, but I would really love to work with LP. Speaking of New York, I love LP's production.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Tom York, Radiohead, everything, Erykah Badu. The list goes on and on, you know.